My beloved child, I know your heart is in turmoil when you see something that seemed to belong to you slip away. You once thought that if you held on tightly enough, it would stay, yet reality has proven otherwise. In that moment, your soul felt shaken, caught between regret and self-reproach. You ask yourself whether this is the end of your journey, whether you have missed the destiny I had arranged for you, whether there is still a chance to restore what seems to have vanished. I hear the whispers from the depths of your heart, questions woven between hope and despair, between longing and confusion. But my child, let me make this clear: nothing happens outside of my permission, and there is nothing my sovereign hand cannot restore. What you think is lost may only be a step in the greater plan I am orchestrating for. I never take away from you what is necessary for the path you must walk. I am the one who gives, the one who knows when to hold back, and the one who allows you to feel the emptiness so you may learn to trust me more deeply. Do not think that this failure is a sign of your unworthiness or that my grace has departed from you. On the contrary, it is in the very moments when you feel you have lost everything that I am preparing to give you something far greater. Remember Job. He lost all his wealth, his children, and his health, yet in the end I restored him with abundance. Remember Peter. He denied me 3 times in the night, yet he became the bold preacher who ushered in a great harvest of souls. You see, loss is not the final word. It is often the doorway into something new. You may think that opportunity has slipped away like water that cannot be grasped, but I, the Creator, can cause rivers to flow backward, turning what was lost into the very foundation of lasting blessing. It is precisely when you are powerless that my omnipotence is revealed. It is precisely when your hands let go that I have room to take hold and lead you in the right way. Do not let those tormenting questions bind your soul like chains. Do not imprison yourself in the belief that you have missed your chance forever. I am not the God of hopeless endings, but the God of restoration and renewal. What you call failure may in fact be the beginning of a profound unveiling. I am still working behind the veil in ways your eyes cannot yet see and your ears cannot yet hear. All I ask is that you lay your burden of doubt upon me and trust that my plans far surpass what your mind can comprehend. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 2:9-11. You may rest assured that what I have appointed for you, no one and nothing can take away. Let that faith be the lamp that lights your soul so you no longer wander in the shadows of regret and fear, but walk in peace, knowing that I who began a good work in you will bring it to completion in my time. You will not be left behind, nor will you lose anything in vain, for my hand still holds your life and is leading you toward the blessing that truly belongs to you. My beloved child, I know that in your heart you once thought that if only you could receive that blessing, all your worries would vanish, all your torment would cease, and every longing would finally be satisfied. You saw it as the single key that could unlock the door to peace. And yes, it may bring part of an answer, but, my child, I, myself, am the final and complete answer, one that will never fade. The gift you once longed for is but a small blessing, yet I am the great source of blessing, inexhaustible and unchanging. Never place your hope in what has been created. Place the focus of your soul on the Creator, for every grace flows from me, and every blessing only has meaning if it draws you closer to me. Do not confuse the instrument with the hand that wields it. Do not mistake the vessel for the one who fills it. When I let something slip out of your reach, it is not to leave you in despair, but to show you that my very hand is the place you must cling to. And when I allow you to fall into emptiness for a moment, it is to expand the capacity of your heart so that you might have room to receive what is lasting, deeply rooted, unshakable, and far beyond anything you ever imagined. Remember, my child, that people often become more enchanted with the gift than with the giver. You long for the light and forget the Sunday. You rejoice at a drop of water and do not realize that the river itself is flowing around you. I know how easily your heart clings to what your eyes can see, and that is why I often remind you every blessing is but a sign pointing you back to me. If you cling to the blessing but neglect me, you will soon run dry, for no gift can ever replace my presence. That is also why I sometimes remove the blessing from you for a moment to teach you to return and seek the one who gives. I am the inexhaustible spring, the source of eternal life, the place where when you come to drink, you will thirst no more. You may lose a temporary answer, but you are being invited into my complete fulfillment, one that satisfies not just for today, but for the entire journey of your life. My child, be assured that whatever I take from your hands will never leave you at a loss, for I am the Father who knows how to give good things to his children. Like a skillful potter reshaping a cracked vessel, I am reshaping your life so that it may hold more. If the vessel kept its cracks, how could it ever contain the living water? I do not want to give you something that will break apart after only a short while. I want to place within you an enduring legacy, a blessing that no one can take away. When I allow something to slip from your grasp, I do not remove it to punish you, but to protect you and prepare you. I want you to understand that peace is not found in the gift, but in the giver. Joy is not in the blessing, but in the one who is the source of all blessing. And true hope does not rest in any passing answer, but in me, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end of all things. So then, my child, stop lamenting over what has been lost, and open your heart to perceive what I am about to make new. Let this emptiness become the soil where deeper trust can take root. Let this silence become the space where you draw nearer to me, holding my hand more firmly and learning to place your hope in the one who never changes. Just as Abraham waited many years in hope, not clinging to the promise itself but to me, so you too must walk in the assurance that delay and loss are but instruments for you to see my glory more clearly. When you learn this, you will understand that every blessing is only a shadow, while I alone am the radiant substance. And in that light you will see that you have not truly lost, but are being prepared to receive an eternal inheritance that no one can ever take from you. My beloved child, you are staring at scattered fragments and thinking all has collapsed, but I want you to know that what I have destined cannot be undone by any force. No mistake, no failure, no loss is powerful enough to erase the plan I have written for you. I know your heart is heavy with unanswered questions and with tears that have yet to dry, but understand this. I am never surprised by what you call a crisis. Nothing catches me off guard. What unsettles you does not shake me. I saw that very moment long before you ever faced it. I knew it would come even before it entered your life. And when I allowed it to happen, I wove healing into the wound itself, and I placed the path of restoration inside the very place you thought was only loss. Child, your eyes are fixed on a single loose thread in the tapestry. You see it and conclude that everything has unraveled, as if the masterpiece I have woven for years could fall apart because of one frayed strand. But I do not see as you see. I see the whole garment a work woven with threads of joy and sorrow of triumph, and failure of light mingled with shadow. And in my eyes its beauty remains intact, for it is my own hand that has woven it. One loose thread cannot ruin the entire design. Rather, it opens the opportunity for me to add a new shade, a deeper line, making the fabric more harmonious and radiant. You see only the bend in the road, but I see the entire journey. You see the falling tear, but I see the ocean ahead. You see only a moment, but I see your whole life stretched out before me like a symphony already composed. Therefore, do not judge my work by one fleeting snapshot. Do not let a small loss persuade you that all is wasted. I am the God of wholeness, the one who turns chaos into melody, broken pieces into a new vessel, ashes into a crown of glory. When you cradle your sorrow and ask why, I want you to remember that I cradle your entire life and declare that it is still on course. The thread that unraveled today is not the end, but the accent through which I will weave a new and marvelous pattern. Offer me your short-sighted vision so that you may share in my eternal perspective. Then you will see that the beauty I have crafted is not lost, but is being brought to perfection in the hands of the one who began and will complete the good work in you. My beloved, I know that right now you see yourself through the lens of loss and label yourself a failure, but in my eyes you have not fallen. You are being brought into the classroom of maturity, where every scar becomes a living lesson in trust, and every tear is the ink that writes a new story of courage. You think you have failed, but I am refining you as a goldsmith places raw ore into the fire, so that the flame reveals the hidden treasure within, for the true worth of gold is shown only after it has endured the furnace. You see a door slammed shut before you, but I see a pathway opening in a place only I know, and only I can lead you into. So do not measure life by a fragment of an event. Do not set the clock of your journey by the needle of a sorrowful moment, and do not use this fleeting sense of emptiness as a measure of my love. For my love does not sway with your emotions, nor does it stretch or shrink according to what you hold on to or let go of. You are not abandoned, for I am closer than your very breath. You are not cast aside, for your name is engraved upon the palm of my hand. You are not forgotten, for each morning when dawn touches your window, I call your name and recall every promise I have spoken over you. Let me make it clearer. Everything you think you have lost I can restore in an instant, and in greater abundance, like a field that after a season of drought suddenly receives the first rains, causing shoots to spring up faster than the eye can count. Every opportunity you thought had slipped away, I can arrange anew in ways that leave you speechless, unable to believe such a portion could be yours, just as when one unexpectedly finds a spring in the desert, realizing it had always been there, waiting only for the right hour to burst forth. Do not draw conclusions about the future from a single gray day, for one cloud cannot take away the sky, and a long night cannot prevent the sun from rising again. Understand that delay does not mean denial, silence does not mean absence, and the close of one season does not mean the bridge ahead has collapsed. I am deepening your roots in silence, so that when storms come your trunk will stand firm and not be torn out. I am pruning away excess branches, so that life's sap flows rightly. In the next season the fruit will grow heavy, and you will know that today's cuts were for tomorrow's harvest. I am stretching the strings of your heart's instrument so that the sound it produces is both strong and true. And though the tightening may sting, remember, a loose string never creates a melody that makes anyone pause to listen. I am also kneading the dough of your will upon my hands, so that when placed in the oven, the bread of your life may rise evenly and release a fragrance that nourishes not only you, but also those you love. Place your hand upon your chest and listen to the steady beat of my heart within you, for when you thought yourself lost, I was walking with you through the valley path, my rod and staff never leaving your side. You ask why I allow moments of emptiness. I tell you this: a pearl is only formed when the oyster accepts a grain of sand and wraps it in layers of radiance over time. In the same way, this small ache, if placed in my hands, will become a beauty that endures unspoiled by anything. Lift up your eyes, do not keep staring at the faltering footprints of yesterday. Before you lies a path I have already walked, lined with the marks of my love. Learn to count blessings instead of faults, to remember miracles instead of chewing on failures, to take a deep breath and realize that my peace is not bound to circumstance. If you are willing to reset your focus, I will teach you the art of walking lightly, even when the ground tilts beneath you. I will show you that hands once empty are now wide enough to receive greater gifts, that eyes once dim with mist are now clear enough to notice the smallest signs I send each day, and that ears once weary are now attuned to hear the gentle whisper that leads you forward. Do not be afraid of starting over, for with me, beginning again does not mean returning to nothing, but stepping forward from a stronger foundation. Do not fear others getting ahead, for what belongs to you is not laid out on someone else's table. Do not worry that you are too slow, for I am the Lord of time, and I know how to shorten what seems to be an endless road. All I ask is that you give me the small steps of today, a sincere prayer, a faithful decision, a hidden act of kindness, when no one notices, a quiet moment of forgiveness, when no one applauds. Each of these small things is a brick I use to build the new bridge that spans the chasm of doubt. The time will come when you stand on the far shore looking back and smiling because you did not give up at the hardest bend. You will one day tell others that in the moment when everything seemed lost, you held my hand and discovered a miracle. What truly belongs to you cannot be taken by any power. What has not yet arrived today will come in tomorrow's appointed time, and what I promise I fulfill. Therefore, my child, let sorrow fall away like the last drop of morning dew. Let doubt dissolve like smoke in the sunlight, and give thanks even before anything changes. Take one more step and then another, trusting that every step sealed by my hand leads to level ground. And you will come to realize this truth as lived experience. What you thought was the end was only a comma in the long story I am writing. And right after that comma, the sentence always begins anew with, my kindness prepared just for you. My beloved one, this is the profound lesson I am patiently inscribing in your soul, the difference between the shallow vision of physical eyes and the revelation that comes from the Spirit. Your eyes only see what is before you, things you can touch, hold, and measure, but revelation transcends those limits. It opens your sight to realities unseen. It lets you taste divine truths beyond the boundaries of this world. Your eyes see blessings and turn them into a crutch, but revelation reminds you that blessings are only shadows while I alone remain the unchanging reality. I let you see so that you may know I am the Almighty, able to do all things. I let you taste my gifts so that you may believe my promises are never empty. But then I let those gifts fade, not to break your heart, but to teach you a higher lesson. Never anchor your faith in the gift, but place all your hope in the giver. If your roots cling to the gift, even a gentle wind can make you falter. But if your roots are set in me, no storm can uproot your soul. Do you not see? The gifts in your hands today may vanish tomorrow, but the word I speak into your spirit will never fade. That is why I want your heart to learn to love me more than the blessings and your eyes to seek me more than the answers. When you reach that place, nothing in this world can shake you again. Whether blessings come or go, you will remain in peace, for you will know you hold the very source of every blessing. When you have me, you have everything. For in me there is not only what you need for today, but also the assurance for tomorrow. You will lack nothing, for I am the good shepherd who leads you to green pastures, guides you beside refreshing waters, and restores your soul in weary days. Once you learn this lesson, all comparisons lose their meaning. You will no longer measure the worth of your life by success or failure, by gifts or opportunities, because you will know these are only means while I alone am the end, and then your life will be transformed. Your joy will no longer depend on what you hold in your hands, but on my presence within you. Your peace will no longer be tied to favorable circumstances, but to the certainty that I will never leave you. You will walk firmly through storms without fear, for the roots of your faith will be anchored deep in an unshakable foundation. That foundation is me. My child, when you truly recognize the difference between the fleeting glance of human eyes and the vision that comes from me, you will enter into a new life. A life no longer swayed by what is seen, but anchored in what is unseen, yet more real than all reality. And in that journey you will learn this truth: having me is enough. You will not lack nor have excess. You will not fear nor be lost. For once you have me, you have touched the fullness that this world can never offer. Beloved one, listen carefully to my words, for this is what I desire to plant deep within your soul. I am the one who holds all of time in my hands. Not a single day of yours is wasted in meaninglessness. Not a single tear falls without my notice. Not a single year is lost beyond my power to redeem. You often see life as a river flowing only one way, where once the waters pass, they can never return. But in my hands, all things are possible. I do not stop at the present. I hold the authority to redeem the past and to prepare the future. The years you thought were stolen, the opportunities you believed were gone, I can transform into a new harvest, bringing forth fruit more abundant than before. My child, you think too narrowly, measuring life by fleeting moments, as if blessings only come in one chance, one moment, one answer. But I want you to understand that I am infinite. I am not limited by human counting, nor bound by the schedules of this world. I am a spring that never runs dry. The more it flows, the more abundant it becomes. I am the boundless ocean where each wave of grace breaks upon your life without ceasing. I am the giver who never tires, pouring out new mercies every morning, just as my word declares. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning. Lamentations 3:2-23, 2:23. If something slips from your grasp, it is not because my storehouse has run empty. If something seems to vanish, it is not because I do not wish to give. Do not mistake my silence for rejection, nor confuse my delay for abandonment. In truth, I am doing a deeper work within your soul. There are blessings I pour down freely like rain refreshing the dry ground. But there are also blessings that must be sown, watered, and awaited for their season, so that when they come, they do not only satisfy you for a moment, but transform your whole life. You are being trained to understand that true value does not lie in what you hold in your hands, but in the one in whom you place your trust. If I allow something to pass away, it is not to take from you, but to teach you to fix your heart on me rather than cling tightly to the blessing. I desire for your heart to mature, to know that the true source of blessing is not in what you possess, but in me, the one who never changes. When you learn this, you will walk in freedom, no longer afraid of loss, no longer troubled when your hands seem empty, for you will know that my hands are always full and always outstretched to uphold you. Remember the people of Israel in the wilderness. They believed that only when manna appeared each day was it proof that I still cared, but in reality I was teaching them that I, myself, am the bread of life. They drank water from the rock and thought that was all they needed, but Scripture says that I, Christ, was that very rock, 1 Corinthians 1:04. Do you see? Blessings are temporary, but I am the eternal source of life. If I let you taste them, it is so you may know they are real. If I let them pass away, it is to teach you that you need me more than you need the gift. And once you grasp this truth, nothing in this world will be able to shake you. There are years of your life you think were swallowed by darkness, seasons, wasted opportunities, lost dreams, shattered. But I say to you, I am the one who can restore the years the locusts have eaten. Joel 2:5. What the enemy meant to destroy you, I will use to build you up stronger. The tears you thought were in vain, I gather into a river of blessing. The days you thought were wasted, I transform into a path that leads you closer to me. You see failure, but I see a foundation. You see loss, but I see empty spaces I long to fill with something greater. My child, open your heart to this truth. I am not only the giver, I am also the redeemer. I can take the broken pieces in your hands and fit them together into a picture more beautiful than before. I can turn the years that seemed barren into a wondrous harvest. I can use your very brokenness as a testimony to others, so they may know that I am the Almighty One who turns mourning into dancing and ashes into a crown. So do not fear what is past. Do not grieve over what has been lost. Do not despair thinking you have strayed too far. I am working even in the days you thought were meaningless. I am building even in the silence. I am arranging even in the chaos. When you trust me, you will see that not a single moment is wasted. All is held within my loving hands. Hands that can turn what is fleeting into what is eternal, transform loss into grace, and make empty years into a priceless inheritance. Rest in this truth, my child. I never run dry. I never grow weary. I never stop carrying out my good plan for your life. What slips from your grasp is not the end, but a turning point, an opening for you to receive something greater. And through it all, I remain the fountain, the ocean, the unchanging Almighty. Because you have me, you lack nothing. Because you belong to me, not a single year of your life is wasted. And because I love you, all things will work together for your good, so that your very life becomes a living testimony that I am the eternal God, the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. Beloved child, every prayer you lift to me never falls into emptiness. Each one I hear with attentiveness, and answer according to the wise love of my will. When you ask me to increase your faith, I do not give you days of ease, but allow you to walk through trials so that in the storm your faith takes root deeply and grows strong. When you ask me to reveal myself, I do not show you with a fleeting miracle alone, but allow you to endure seasons of dryness that you might learn. My presence is not tied to fleeting feelings, but is a solid foundation anchored in your soul. When you ask me for strength, wisdom, and steadfastness, I do not place instant power in your hands, but teach you step by step to stand firm in the winds, to listen and to discern, so that true wisdom arises from encountering me daily. My answers often do not come as gifts laid directly in your hand, but are formed in the depths of your heart. For I do not want you to lean only on what is outward, but for your very soul to become the dwelling place of endurance. I allow your tears to fall so they may wash away fear and pride, softening your heart to my leading. I allow sorrow, but such sorrow does not last forever. It is like the night covering the earth, yet when dawn breaks, new light floods in, and then you will see pain is not the end, but the stepping stone into a deeper joy. The joy, I promise you, is not fragile or shallow, disappearing the moment something is taken away. It is not like the fleeting thrill of achievement that soon turns to fear of loss. The joy I give you is steadfast, born of knowing me, rooted in the truth that your life is anchored in the presence of the Eternal One. When you touch that depth, you will realize that no loss, no mistake, no failure has the power to separate you from my love. As I once declared through the apostle, for I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor rulers, neither things present nor things to come, nor powers, nor height, nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus our Lord. Romans 8:3, 8:39. Picture this, my child, a tree planted in stony ground. At first it struggles, but those very stones compel its roots to reach deeper in search of water. And when the storms come, the tree does not topple, for its roots are anchored deep in the earth. In the same way, I am using adversity to drive your faith deeper into me. You think pain is weakening your soul, but in truth, I am using it to make you stronger, wiser, and unshakable. Do not be surprised when you find yourself weeping, for tears are part of the journey of transformation. But trust that every tear is gathered by me into a bottle and recorded in my book, Psalm 5, 6, 8. Not a single drop is wasted. Each tear that falls waters the seed of faith within your heart, until one day it will sprout into the tree of life, bringing shade and fruit, not only to you but also to many around you. Remember this, the joy I have prepared for you is the kind of joy that transcends every circumstance. It does not come from having everything in life go smoothly, but from knowing that I am with you, even in the darkest of places. It is not the fleeting joy of receiving a gift, but the deep peace of knowing that I, myself, am your portion and inheritance. And this joy will give you the strength to stand firm, to lift your head high in the storm, to smile even in the face of loss. My child, you have prayed to me for many things: faith, strength, wisdom, endurance. And now I am answering not by filling your hands with things that can be taken away, but by engraving within your heart a faith that no one can steal. I am writing the answer upon your very soul so that it becomes a heritage no one can take from you. And when you look back, you will see that you have received not only what you asked for, but far more: a transformed life, a heart bound closely to me, a joy so deep that no one can rob you of it. So do not dread the days drenched with tears, nor fear the long nights of loneliness, for in them I am working a wonder. Today's sorrow will become the foundation for tomorrow's joy. Your collapse will be the place where I raise you up stronger than before. And when you emerge from this season, you will find yourself not only comforted but renewed from within. Your joy will no longer be fragile, but will become a flame that burns unceasingly, shining upon your life and upon all who look to you and see my power and my love. Beloved one, be certain of this: I am answering, and my answer is always deeper, broader, and more enduring than what you imagine. You will see one day that every tear was worth it, every trial carried meaning, and every prayer of yours was heard by a loving and wise God, one who not only gives what you need, but gives himself the eternal blessing that nothing can shake. My dear child, when your mind is flooded with memories of what has been lost, I want you to lift your eyes and remember that I am the one who holds the future. What has slipped away is not the whole story. You are only looking at a page that has been turned, but I am the author still writing. You think that loss has ruined everything, but I can restore all things, not merely as you imagine, but far beyond anything you can measure. You see a canvas smeared with stains, but I see a foundation upon which to paint a new masterpiece. You see a ruined house, but I see cleared ground where I will build a temple more steadfast and unshakable. Do not cling to the past as though it alone determines your life. Release yesterday, for I am calling you into a new day. Regret is like an invisible chain binding you and making every step heavy. But I have come to break those chains. I have come to free your heart from the whispers of if only, why, and what if. For those voices only pull you backward, while I am opening before you a new path. You cannot move forward if your eyes remain fixed on yesterday's shadow. You cannot receive new blessings if your hands are still clutching the fragments of the old. Listen to my voice, my child. I do not rebuke you, nor do I despise your weakness, but I speak in love. Do not look back and say, if only I had done this, if only I had not chosen that. For even if you could turn back and change yesterday's decisions, you would still need me to walk with you today and tomorrow. Your faith cannot rest in your own ability to correct mistakes, but it must rest in me, the one who makes all things new. Shift your perspective. Do not dwell on what has been lost, but look forward and hear me say, behold, I am about to do a new thing. You have not yet seen it, but I am preparing. You have not yet understood, but I am arranging. You have not yet grasped it, but I am sowing seeds for a greater harvest. I once parted the Red Sea for my people to walk through, and I will also make a way in the desert of your life. I once brought water out of a barren rock, and I will cause grace to flow from what seems hopeless in your journey. You think everything is closed, but I am opening. You see a door shut, but I have already prepared the key to another door. You hear the sound of something shutting, yet at the same time I am saying, step forward, for I still have many wonders awaiting you. My child, the past is but a shadow. Do not let that shadow cover the light of a new day. I am the God of today and tomorrow. The sun does not cease to rise just because the night is long, and new life does not cease to spring forth just because yesterday held tears. I want you to believe that whatever I am about to do will be greater than anything you have gone through. For my love is not limited by time, and my power is not confined by failure. When you release the past and step forward, you will see that my hands are still waiting to uphold you. When you let regrets fall from your shoulders, you will feel the weight lifted and your steps become lighter. When you lift up your head and behold the new vision, you will realize that I have never stopped loving and guiding you. Yes, you may not understand everything, but you do not need to. You do not need to hold every plan in your hands, only hold tightly to mine. And one day when you look back, you will see that every loss was but a doorway to something new. Every tear watered the seeds of faith. Every pain carved out space for me to fill with true joy. Then you will smile and say, truly I was never forsaken. Truly the Lord has done marvelous things. Therefore, my child, release the past, so that I may give you the present and the future. Do not fear what is gone, for I can restore and renew. Do not worry about what has not yet come, for I am already there waiting for you. Just walk day by day, believing that I am the one who declares, behold, I am about to do a new thing. And this is not merely a promise, but a reality unfolding in your life, a reality filled with peace, hope, and blessings that no one can take away. My beloved child, open your heart and listen carefully to what I am about to say. You are not worthless, and you have never been worthless. Your worth is not determined by the eyes of the world, nor is it measured by the successes or failures you have experienced. Your worth was defined the very moment I breathed the breath of life into you. It cannot be shaken. It cannot be stolen. For I, the Creator, have set my eternal seal upon your life. Before you ever appeared on this earth, I already knew you. From within your mother's womb, I called your name. Before you uttered your very first prayer, I loved you with an unchanging love. Do you not know I made you in my image, not so that you might wander like an orphan, but so that you might reflect my glory in this world? I have called you by your very name, not by some vague title. Your name is engraved on the palm of my hand, a constant reminder that you belong to me and that no one can erase this belonging. I loved you even before you knew what it meant to love. My love does not wait for you to be good, nor does it demand that you be perfect. It is a love that takes the initiative, a love that surpasses every boundary, that searches for you when you are lost, that reaches you in the darkness, and that carries you when you fall. Before you ever chose me, I had already chosen you. I saw you among the multitudes and placed you within my plan. I sent my only son for you, not because you could prove your worth, nor because you deserved it by any standard, but simply because I could not bear eternity without you. Think about this. Such love is not fragile. It is the very love that caused the heavens to bow, that silenced all of heaven, and that stained the cross with blood. All of this because I did not want to lose you. So then, my child, never think that your worth is determined by what you hold in your hands. Wealth, fame, relationships, or achievements, all these can change and fade away. But your worth does not change because it does not rest on these things. Your worth lies in the one who holds you, me. I am the Almighty, the Eternal One, and I have held you in my arms from the beginning until now. Even when you feel empty, I call you precious. Even when you see yourself as a failure, I call you victorious in me. Even when you think you have nothing left to offer, I see you as worthy of love and tender care. Nothing in this life nor any power in all creation can separate you from the love I have for you. Be assured of this, I am holding you, and I will keep holding you until the very end. When your hands tremble, mine remain steady. When your steps go astray, my feet walk beside you. And when your voice is choked with tears, my voice still rises within your heart. You are mine, you belong to me, and I will never leave you. My child, lift up your head, for I have set your worth by the innocent blood of my only Son. Not with silver, not with gold, but with the most precious life itself. This declares that you are not only important, you are priceless in my eyes. And because of this, you may live in this world not in shame, not in fear, but in the confidence that you are loved, chosen, and held by my eternal love. So cease from belittling yourself. Cease from letting the voices of the world or even the whispers of your own doubt blur the truth. Let my word define you. Let my love shape you. For if I have called you precious, then no one can call you worthless. If I have chosen you, then no power can cast you aside. If I have loved you with unchanging love, then no mistake is strong enough to erase it. Walk forward with this assurance. Your worth does not come from what you do, but from the fact that you belong to the one who created heaven and earth, and that very one is still holding you every moment. And I will continue to hold you, guide you, and protect you until the day you see my face in everlasting glory. Beloved child, do not let the whispered lies in your mind convince you that your journey has reached its end. What you are facing now is but one chapter in the long book I am writing with my love and wisdom. Perhaps the page just turned has left in you the echo of sorrow, but remember, the book continues, and I, the author, have never written the final period. This chapter may feel heavy, you may feel darkness surrounding you, but that does not mean the light has gone out. In every story I write, darkness is only the backdrop against which greater glory is revealed. I want you to trust my hand, to trust the pen I hold, and to believe that every line written carries purpose. No detail is random, no page is meaningless. Even now, while your heart bleeds from loss, I am sowing within it the seeds of restoration. You do not yet see them, for seeds are always hidden in the dark soil before they sprout. But believe that every tear you shed is like dew moistening the earth, preparing those seeds to break forth into new life. You weep, but within your weeping I am already preparing joy for you. I do not allow your tears to be wasted. I transform them into nourishment for a harvest of blessing. And when you feel empty, as though you have nothing left to cling to, that is the very moment I am filling you with my presence. For when your hands let go of all else, only I can be your fullness. My child, understand this. I do not rush in writing the chapters of your life. Every line is penned with patience, with care, and with infinite love. Some passages carry much pain, but that is not the final aim. They are but the material to make the beauty of the ending shine brighter. When you walk through the valley, you think you are abandoned, but the truth is that I am still there, step by step beside you. When you look around and see no one, remember that I am the one who never departs. When you cry out in the long night, your voice does not vanish. It resounds before my glorious throne, where I sit listening and preparing my answer. All things are moving toward the day when you will arrive at a glorious conclusion, not only for your sake, but so that the whole world may see my love and my faithfulness in you. And then on the appointed day, when every detail has come together to form the perfect picture, you will look back and whisper, "You have been with me from the very beginning." You will realize that not a single step was wasted, not a single tear was in vain, and not a single pain was without meaning. You will come to understand that it was all part of the love story I have written for you, a story inscribed in the ink of grace and engraved upon the parchment of eternity. And in that moment you will rise, not trembling, not doubting, but with a heart filled with trust, knowing that the book of your life remains open, and its final chapter will blaze with the glory of the one who has loved you, chosen you, and walked with you from the beginning unto forevermore. My beloved child, never think that I take delight in seeing you sorrowful or in pain. My heart does not find joy in your tears, nor does it take pleasure in your grief. My true joy is to bless you, to heal your wounds, to steady your trembling hands, and to breathe into you the fresh breath of life. I rejoice when I see you stand strong, when you walk in freedom, and peace when your face shines in the light of my love. And yet, child, I also know that there are treasures that cannot be formed in times of ease. Maturity does not come when all is smooth, but when you learn to lean on me in the midst of storms. At times, the road to radiance does not lie along a level path, but leads you through the valleys of trial. But remember this well, the valley will never last forever. It is not the place I have destined for you to remain. It is only a passage for you to walk through. The valley is not your home, nor is it your destination. It is simply part of the journey, and in the end you will step out of it into higher, broader, brighter places. Just as the shepherd leads his flock through the valley to reach green pastures, so too am I leading you through the shadows only to bring you into the land of blessing. Even if the valley is cloaked in the shadow of death and covered in fear, know this, I am with you. My rod and my staff comfort you. And because of this, the valley cannot confine you, cannot define you, and cannot rob you of the glory that awaits ahead. My child, let the eyes of faith look beyond the present. Do not allow the darkness to blind you to the dawn that is breaking. When you feel weary, remember that each step through the valley is building within you a steadfast strength. When you feel alone, remember that it is there I reveal a closeness unlike any you have known. When you feel lost, know that I am teaching you to recognize my voice more clearly amidst the noise. The valley does not come to destroy you, but to refine your faith. It is in the darkness that you will discover how precious the light truly is. It is in your lack that you will see how completely I am your fullness. And it is in your weakness that you will experience the perfection of my strength. Therefore, do not fear the valley, nor call it the end. Call it the road that leads to green pastures, to still waters, to radiance in my presence. Believe that my hand will never release you halfway. Believe that your steps will not falter, for I uphold you. And believe that when you emerge from the valley, you will not be the same as before. You will be stronger, deeper, and more radiant in the light of my glory. The valley is temporary, but the glory I have promised is eternal. So, my child, stand firm, keep walking, and hold fast to hope. For I am leading you along this road to a place no eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no heart has ever imagined. A place overflowing with the goodness I have prepared for you. My beloved child, lift up your eyes, look beyond the pain and above the loss. Do not keep your gaze fixed on what has slipped through your hands, for if you continue to stare at the emptiness, you will only feel the ache of what is missing. But if you turn your eyes toward me, you will behold the one who never changes, who is always sufficient and overflowing. When you stop to count what has been lost, your heart will be filled with regret. But when you begin to count the times I have upheld you, protected you, and sheltered you through every storm, you will realize your life has never lacked blessing. Every step you take bears the imprint of my hand. Every breath you draw is a reminder that I am still keeping you. Do not let your heart cling to the answers you think you need, for the true answer is not found in what you expect, but in what I am preparing greater and deeper than anything you could ever imagine. Be assured that I will restore you. I will not abandon you in the wilderness to wander aimlessly. I am your Father, and my heart will never forsake you in your brokenness. I will lift you up from the ashes and breathe into you new life, turning ruin into the foundation for something stronger and enduring. What you thought was lost forever, I can redeem. The years you considered wasted, I can transform into treasures for your journey. Restoration does not mean returning to where you once were, but stepping into a new version of yourself, deeper, stronger, and reshaped in my image. And as you experience that restoration, you will come to see that what I give is always more, always greater, and always better than what you had imagined. I will also bless you. My blessings are not like fragile gifts that people can take away. My blessing is an unending river flowing from the throne of glory, pouring over your life each day. Open your hands to receive, not because you deserve it, but because I love you and long to give you abundantly. What I give is not only to meet your needs, but so that you may become a source of life for others. The blessing you receive will become encouragement for the sorrowful, hope for the hopeless, and light for those lost in darkness. I do not merely want you to live in blessing, but to become a witness to my goodness, and I will heal you. The pain you carry, however deep, cannot surpass my power to heal. I will touch the wounds you have tried to hide, the scars you thought no one could see, and turn them into testimonies of my love. You may have wept in the night, you may have bent beneath the weight you bore, but morning light will come. In that light you will see wounds closed, your spirit renewed, and peace overflowing. My healing is not a temporary soothing, but a transformation that reaches into the depths of your being so that you no longer live as one wounded, but as one reborn. I will also open doors that no one can shut. There are doors you once knocked on but never saw open. There are opportunities you thought were closed forever, but I tell you this, when I open, no power can close. I am not limited by circumstances, by people, or by time. When my appointed moment comes, I will make a way for you to enter, and no one will be able to hinder you. The door I open is not only for you alone, but so that many others may be blessed through your steps. Wait and trust, for the door I prepare is always greater than what you imagine. In the end, my child, I will turn your sorrow into testimony, your weakness into strength, and your restless questions into wisdom. I will take the story that once seemed filled with failure and make it into a light for many others who are wandering. People will see you and know that if I could do this in your life, then I can also do it in theirs. You will become a living witness that I am the one who turns ashes into glory, tears into songs, grief into dance, and the darkest pages into radiant testimony. Do not fear what you have gone through, for I will use it all to write a glorious story, one that only I can write, and one that only you can tell through your very life. My beloved, open wide your heart, and listen to my words not only with your ears but with your whole heart, for there are things I have sown into your soul long ago. In the quiet moments I whispered to you, but at times your mind was so caught up in worries that you could not pause to hear me fully. Today I speak to you with urgency because you live in a stream of time that never stops, and every passing moment will never return. Understand, this time is one of the most precious gifts I have given you, but it is not without limit. Once a day has passed, it is not like a fallen coin you can pick up again, nor like water that can be gathered back once poured out. Every moment is a sacred gift. Every breath you draw is a treasure that silver or gold cannot buy. Therefore, live fully and do not waste it. Remember that my love for you is everlasting, unchanging, and never bound by days or years. Yet the time I grant you to live on this earth is limited. It is this very limit that makes each day, each hour more precious than ever. Do not think that you can delay forever, for the present moment is all you truly have in your hands. The hours you live are the seeds you sow, and from those seeds you will reap the harvest. If you sow in faithfulness, you will reap a season of blessing. If you sow in love, your fruits will be joy and comfort to many. But if you sow in indifference or selfishness, you will find your life lacking the fullness I long to give you. Do not take lightly each passing hour, for they are like golden grains I have placed in your hand to be invested for eternity. My child, do not let yourself be captivated by fleeting things that would cause you to exchange eternal treasure for temporary gain. I see how at times you squander your energy and your mind on matters that bring no true life. I see how you worry too much over trivial things, forgetting the greater purpose I have set before you. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, what seeds have you sown today for your soul? Do the seeds you scatter Strengthen your faith, nourish your spirit, and bring life to others. For my child, what you sow will return to you in ways you cannot foresee. As it is written, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. Galatians 6:7. Do not think that the harvest will come instantly. At times you will sow with tears in long, weary nights, but do not lose heart. For the seed in my hand always carries life. It will sprout, it will grow, and in due season you will reap with songs of joy. Do not mistake delay for absence. Though you may not see the result today, I am at work in silence, tending and nurturing every seed you have sown in faith. And when the appointed time comes, you will behold a field overflowing with fruit, and you will know that every tear, every prayer, and every small act done in my name was never in vain. Therefore, my child, live awake and watchful. Do not slumber in indifference. Do not think you still have much time to begin again. Tomorrow is not guaranteed to you, but today is the gift I place in your hand. Live as though each day were your only gift, for indeed it is. Use your time to sow what is good, to speak words of love, to forgive, to help to leave marks of my grace upon this world. Do not let the day end with you saying, I wish I had lived differently. Instead, let every day close with gratitude, knowing you have lived wholeheartedly for me. And finally, my child, remember that this life is only the foyer leading into eternity. What you do today will echo forever. The brief time you have on earth is your chance to write the story of love between you and me. Do not take it lightly. Do not let it slip away. Choose to live so that every seed you sow becomes part of the eternal field. Then on the day you cross the threshold into eternity, you will smile as you hear me say, well done, good and faithful servant, and you will see that not a single moment was wasted, for all of it has become part of a glorious harvest in my kingdom. My beloved child, let my words sink deeply into your soul. Do not treat time lightly, for it is more precious than silver or gold, and no one can ever redeem a single moment once it has passed. Time is among the finest gifts I give, yet it is also the one most easily squandered by humankind. Some spend their time tormenting themselves in the shadows of regret, staring back at old choices with eyes full of sorrow, as if gazing long enough could alter the past. Others let their time slip away in the chains of fear, too afraid to move, too afraid to trust, watching opportunity vanish like the wind. My child, do not let your heart fall into the same snare. I did not create you to waste your life in the paralysis of regret or the trembling of doubt, but to live courageously, fully, and faithfully in every moment I entrust to you. I have set before you opportunities, pathways that if you only step into them will bring transformation. I have opened doors that lead to healing, to grace, to deep joy. I have whispered gentle invitations, sometimes through a dream, sometimes through a passage of scripture, sometimes through the knock of a friend or an unexpected circumstance. Yet, my child, these moments come like the wind, present, moving, and then gone. If you do not open your heart, if you do not seize them, they will pass and never return. I do not want you to sit and regret later and say, if only I had walked through that day. For the opportunities I give are not meant for hesitation, but for you to learn trust and obedience. You ask me, why do some opportunities slip away? Why do doors once open seem to close again? My child, the truth is that many doors I have opened, but few have entered. Many roads I have laid out, yet few have dared to walk them. Not because I have shut them, but because hearts hesitate, weighed down by doubt. They wait for a perfect tomorrow, a more convenient time, a safer moment. But tomorrow is never guaranteed. Tomorrow is not yours until I grant it. The only time you truly possess is this moment right now. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Matthew 6:3-4. Do not bind yourself to the illusion that tomorrow is always certain. Do not delay doing what is right, thinking you have an endless future ahead. For in the blink of an eye, every plan can change. Look back at the opportunities you have missed, not to condemn yourself, but to awaken your spirit for those that are still coming. When I open a door, you must step through it in faith, even if the road ahead is not fully clear. When I place an invitation in your heart, you must answer yes, even when everything around you remains uncertain. It is in that response that you will discover unexpected grace and see that I am at work in every detail of your life. Remember, my child, time is like a river flowing without pause. You cannot hold it in your hands, but you can use it to sow seeds. A kind word, a loving act, a moment of prayer, all these are seeds planted in the field of eternity. In the same way, a wasted moment, a surrender to fear, or a missed call from me are also seeds you plant. And one day the harvest will come and you will reap what you have sown. I long for you to reap joy, peace, and overflowing blessing, not regret or emptiness. Therefore, my beloved child, live watchfully. Treasure every moment. Treat time as the precious jewel I have placed into your hands. Do not squander it in laziness or doubt. Do not let fear or regret steal it from you. Rise up, walk in faith, and take hold of the opportunities I am opening before your very eyes. Believe that I have already prepared all that you need, and all you must do is step into it. And as you walk forward, you will see that every moment you offer to me is never wasted, but becomes a stone in the path leading to the abundant and glorious life I have promised for you. My beloved child, let these words sink deep into your soul, for I long for you to recognize the precious truth about the time I have entrusted to you. The kindness you withhold today cannot be offered again in that very same moment. A gesture of love you hesitate to make may be the only spark of light someone needs to escape the depths of despair. Yet once that opportunity slips away, you cannot return to fulfill it in the same instant. The steps you delay may cause doors behind you to close forever, and you will regret not obeying my voice when the way was still open. My child, your life is like a breath. It comes and it goes, fragile like the morning mist that vanishes in the sunlight. I know you often live as though it were endless, but in reality, it is not. Life is short, yet it is this very brevity that makes it sacred and profoundly valuable. This life was meant to carry meaning, to be lived with purpose, not wasted in distraction, squandered in indifference, or buried beneath things that bear no fruit of life. I have seen you many times pass by moments that seemed small, dismissing them as insignificant. You thought a single word of comfort, a gentle embrace, or a simple act of kindness could not possibly make a difference. But my child, no moment is ever small when it is illuminated by eternal worth. One word of encouragement can lift a weary soul from surrender. One prayer offered with sincere faith can redirect the entire course of a life. One choice of obedience can unleash streams of blessing not only for you, but for your children and their children after them. That is why I call you to remain watchful, not despising the little things, for whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. Luke 1:6-10. Faithfulness in the smallest moment is the very foundation upon which you step into the greatness I have prepared. Oh, my child, it breaks my heart to see so many of my children treat time as though it were cheap, as if it were an endless resource that can be spent carelessly and then reclaimed. But the truth is, time never returns, nor does it ever wait. Delay is not harmless, as you often believe. It is a hidden danger. For while you postpone, the opportunity I have given drifts away, and once the door closes, it does not always open again. Consider this carefully. How many times have you intended to pray but set it aside for busyness? How many times have you meant to forgive but told yourself there would be another chance? How many times have you thought of speaking a word of encouragement only to dismiss it as unimportant? And how many times have you later looked back with a sigh, whispering, "If only I had, my beloved child"? I do not speak these things to make you live in fear, but to help you recognize the sacred value of every moment. Time is the current that carries you into eternity, and every moment you choose to sow will determine what you will one day reap. A moment of love can yield a harvest of peace. A moment of forgiveness can free a life from chains of bitterness. A moment of prayer can draw down the strength of heaven. Conversely, a moment wasted in anger, selfishness, or indifference can plant bitter seeds in your soul that you never intended to reap. Therefore, be alert and wise in how you use your time. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Ephesians 5:1-5-16, 22. My child, I give you each day not so that you may count the passing numbers, but so that you may know how to live fully. A short life is not a tragedy, but a grace, for it is precisely its brevity that makes every moment more precious, every act of kindness more meaningful, and every second spent with me an eternal seed. Use time as an offering so that no day passes in vain. Do not wait until the very end to realize that you have missed it all. Let each morning begin with gratitude, each afternoon be lived with purpose, and each evening close in peace, knowing that you have given your all for me. And my child, do not be afraid that you have wasted too much already, for my grace is always new. What is past I can redeem, as long as today you are willing to place your time in my hands. You cannot change yesterday, but you can shape tomorrow by your obedience today. Time will not wait, but my grace always waits for you. If you choose to take hold of it, you will see the years lost, restored, missed opportunities, replaced with something new, and the darkest days transformed into memories of my faithfulness. Beloved child, stay awake. Live in the present with your whole heart, for this is the only moment you truly have. Do not squander it in procrastination, do not imprison it in regret, and do not let it be stolen by fear. Offer each moment to me, and you will see your life become a vibrant tapestry, filled with the colors of love, grace, and glory. Then you will no longer fear the passing of days, because you will know that you have used them rightly to love, to live, to sow, to glorify me, and to prepare for the eternal harvest I have promised you. My precious child, do you not see this profound truth? Every moment of your life bears holiness, for it is not only part of the flow of time, but also a fragment of grace I have given. Each sunrise is never meant simply to mark the repetition of another day, but is itself a fresh gift from my hand, offering you the chance to begin again to live with faith, hope, and love. Each breath you draw, though it seems ordinary, is a sacred permission to continue walking the path I have prepared. Yet I see you often live as if you will be here forever, clinging to the fleeting, entangled in the temporary, forgetting that this world is not your eternal home. My child, this is but a time of preparation, a journey of training, a temporary stewardship I have entrusted to you. You are a traveler merely passing through this world. Every day and every hour you have is my provision for your pilgrimage. Each day is spiritual nourishment, the strength you need to draw closer to your eternal home. I have not given you today so you may waste it in futility, but so you may use it as a seed sown into the field of eternity. Therefore, do not squander this provision. Do not forget the worth of each day, for a day once lost can never return. Do you know this? When you despise the small and ordinary days, you are neglecting the very bricks I long to use to build a great work. What seems trivial, a word of kindness, a humble act, a choice of obedience, these are eternal seeds. No day is meaningless if you live it in my presence. On the other hand, no day is truly whole if you waste it in neglect or indifference. When you cast away the treasure I have given you, lose the chance to experience my abundance. When you treat the gift of a single day lightly, you lose not only that day, but also the harvest it might have borne. I have placed into your hands treasures that no one else possesses. They are time, opportunities, a calling, and the relationships surrounding you. These have not been given to you merely to hold for yourself, but to steward and to use for my glory. I want you to remember that it is faithfulness in the small things that paves the way for you to enter into greatness. You may not always see the results immediately, but every step you take and every act of obedience you offer is writing an eternal story. As the scripture says, be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Ephesians 5:1-5:16. My child, never forget that you are not living only for the present. You live in preparation for eternity. You do not live merely to accumulate what can be seen, but to invest in what has not yet been revealed to the eye. Each day is an opportunity to add another line to your spiritual legacy, a legacy that will endure even when your body no longer walks upon this earth. When you choose to live for me today, you are storing up treasures in heaven where moth and rust cannot destroy and where no thief can steal. Therefore, lift up your head and live each day as though it were your final chance to show love, to sow seeds of faith, and to extend mercy. Live as though every moment were sacred, for indeed it is. Do not delay in doing good. Do not allow indifference to cause you to miss the opportunity. Let each of your days become a testimony that I, the one who created you, am still at work, still revealing my glory through your life. And when you learn to cherish every moment, when you no longer waste the short span of days given to you, you will find your life becoming richer, fuller, and more deeply connected with me. Then you will walk not in anxiety or regret, but in the assurance that each day brings you closer to the purpose I have set for you. And in that faith you will discover a wondrous truth. This life is only the beginning, and your true home is with me, the place of eternal life, where love never fades. Because of this, I call you to be watchful and to redeem the time. Do not think of time as an endless current that you can squander. Do not assume that you have many more chances to delay, for tomorrow does not belong to you until I grant it. Learn to value today, for today is all that you truly hold in your hands. When you live with such wisdom, every moment becomes a seed sown into the field of eternity. A word of love, an act of kindness, a whispered prayer, all of these are recorded, and each will bear fruit in its season. But if you let it slip away, the opportunity will pass with the flow of time, never to return again. My child, I have seen many spend their time on things that bear no fruit. They devote their years to chasing fleeting illusions, clinging to what is empty while their souls remain impoverished. They believe their youth will last forever, that their strength will not fade, that tomorrow will always come. Yet when they look back, they realize those years can never be regained. That is why I want you to stay awake and not repeat their mistakes. Do not let a single day pass by in vain. Do not allow the time I have given you to become a burden of regret, but let it instead stand as a testimony of your faithfulness. Remember, I am not calling you to chase after time in panic, but to live wisely and make the most of it. There are moments when you must pause and rest in my presence. There are moments when you must step out and express love. There are moments when you must make decisions not out of fear but in faith. Each moment when placed in my hands becomes a sanctified seed. And when you live this way, you will no longer fear the passing of time, for you will know that you have used it rightly to honor me and to sow into eternity. My child, look back at the days that have passed and learn the lessons they hold, but do not let your heart be trapped in regret. Lift your eyes forward with the confidence that I can use even the years you thought were wasted to teach and transform you. I have not given you control over time, but I have given you the opportunity to live each day as an offering. When you redeem the time, your life ceases to be a mere string of fleeting days and becomes a meaningful journey, each step drawing you closer to glory. Therefore, my child, rise and live with the wisdom I have entrusted to you. Make the most of every moment, not out of fear of losing it, but in the joy of receiving it. Let each day you live become a radiant page bearing witness to my love, my faithfulness, and my grace. And when the day closes, you may look back with peace, knowing that you have lived fully, that you have treated time as a sacred gift, and that those moments have been recorded in eternity. My beloved, I never intended for you to live under the burden of regret. I did not create you to forever look backward in sorrow over what has been lost, but that you might be awakened by the urgency of the present. Regret is a chain that binds the soul, keeping you stuck in the shadows of the past. But wisdom is different. It lifts your eyes toward the future and opens the path for you to walk into the destiny I have prepared. Regret wears the heart down, but wisdom gives strength to walk steadily. Therefore, my child, even now I am giving you wisdom not born of your limited experience, but from my Spirit. Use it, receive it, and let it guide your steps. Pause for a moment and reflect earnestly. How are you using the time I have given you? Every word you speak never returns. It is like a seed sown carrying either life or destruction. Every thought you nurture is also time spent. It shapes your emotions and actions, leaving a mark on your life. Every deed, no matter how small, is a seed planted in the ground. One day you will see the harvest of those seeds. And what will that harvest be? A harvest of peace, joy, righteousness, and love, or a harvest of emptiness, regret, and sorrow over what could have been. You have a choice, for I have given you free will. It is a sacred gift, and I will never take it from you. You are not a creature of compulsion. You are one entrusted with the power to choose between life and death, blessing and curse. Yet, my child, I have not left you alone. I have given you my Spirit to guide you. The Spirit will be the whisper within your heart, teaching you what is right, warning you of danger, and encouraging you when you are weary. He is the helper, the comforter, the teacher, walking with you in every moment. You will never be lost if you keep your heart attentive to His voice. But there are times when I see you silencing the voice of the Holy Spirit simply because you hold on to too many reasons. You justify yourself, saying it is not yet the right time, that there is still plenty of time, that more preparation is needed. You excuse yourself out of fear, out of uncertainty, or out of waiting for a more favorable opportunity. Yet while you delay, the opportunity slips away like the wind passing through your fingers. My child, do not harden your heart when I speak. Now is the time, for this very moment is the true opportunity placed in your hands. Do not let tomorrow deceive you, for tomorrow is never guaranteed. I want you to understand that this urgency is not meant to drive you into panic, but to awaken you to live alert and aware. I want you to see that every moment matters. Once you pass it by, it will not return. When you delay, the door may close. But when you obey, when you respond, at the very moment the Spirit calls, you will witness new life pouring forth. You will experience miracles, opportunities, and transformations beyond what you could imagine. Immediate obedience is the key that unlocks the treasure of blessings I have prepared for you. O my child, do not let your heart grow hard. Do not allow excuses and fears to choke the sound of my voice. When the Spirit stirs, take the step. When I say now is the time, do not turn away. For the opportunities I give do not always come again. Every moment of obedience is a moment that draws you closer to my good purpose. But every delay pushes you further from the blessing I have already set aside for you. Remember, this true wisdom does not lie in your ability to understand everything, but in your willingness to listen and act the very moment the Spirit speaks. Wisdom is knowing that time is precious and cannot be reclaimed. Wisdom is knowing that regret changes nothing, only action in the present bears fruit. Wisdom is knowing that my Spirit is always there, guiding you on the right path. Therefore, my child, live with watchfulness and readiness. Let the Spirit direct every step you take. Choose today to sow seeds of love, righteousness, and hope. And when the harvest comes, you will not reap regret, but joy, peace, and the blessing I have promised. Do not silence the whisper within your heart, for that is my voice. Do not harden your heart, but be soft, humble, and responsive. For now, my child, truly is the time. My beloved child, listen carefully to what I am speaking to you today. I have placed good seeds in your hand, yet there have been times you did not sow them. I have opened doors of opportunity before you, yet you hesitated and did not step through. I have entrusted you with words meant to uplift, to heal, and to encourage, yet you kept silent out of fear or reluctance. You must learn to treasure the moment, for once it passes, it will never return. You must train yourself to hear my voice clearly and to respond quickly without delay. Remember, delay is the most dangerous enemy of obedience. When you hesitate, opportunities slip away like the wind. When you waver, blessings prepared for you begin to close. That is why I remind you, do not despise small beginnings. Do not disregard quiet whispers. Do not underestimate opportunities that seem ordinary. For it is often through these very things that the foundation for great change is laid. My child, what you consider small, I can turn into something great. What you think insignificant, I can use to transform an entire life. Never forget that the tiniest mustard seed once planted grows into a great tree where the birds of the air find shelter. Likewise, a single word of love, an act of forgiveness, or a hidden prayer can become a flame that pierces the darkness around you. I have seen too many who at the end of their days weep in regret, saying, "If only I had loved more. If only I had dared to speak forgiveness." If only I had lived with purpose instead of letting time slip away in vain. They discover the truth too late, when the opportunity is gone forever. My child, I do not want you to walk the same path. I do not want your final breath to be burdened with the words, if only. Do not wait until your last breath to realize the preciousness of time. Do not let your final day be the day you finally understand that you squandered your years. Open your eyes now. Pause and ask yourself, what am I doing with the days the Lord has given me? Do not think that what I seek are grand successes, monumental works, or achievements celebrated by the world. What I desire most from you is faithfulness in the smallest details. A cup of water you give to the thirsty in my name will never be forgotten. A word of comfort spoken to the brokenhearted will be recorded in my book. A moment of listening and obeying the quiet whisper of the Spirit can unlock results beyond measure. You must learn to see as I see. In your eyes, a small act may seem meaningless, but in mine it holds eternal value. In your eyes, an opportunity may appear to be a mere fragment of time, but in my hands it can become the beginning of a great harvest. Do not despise the small things, for time and again I have used the small to reveal my power. I used a boy with 5 loaves and 2 fish to feed thousands. I used a stone in David's hand to defeat Goliath. I used the silent prayers of a mother to transform an entire lineage. Do you understand? It is often what you overlook that I choose to use to transform a life or even an entire generation. My child, I know that you have let opportunities slip away because you thought they were not worth pursuing. You believed that a short prayer could not move heaven and earth. You thought that a small act of kindness could not change someone's destiny. You assumed that obedience in small matters could never make a difference. But my child, the truth is this. I do not measure by greatness, I measure by faithfulness. When you are faithful with little, I will entrust you with much. When you learn to seize small opportunities, I will open greater doors for you. But if you despise the small things, how can you expect me to trust you with greater things? Pause for a moment and remember, every day you live is an opportunity. Every breath is an invitation to love, to obey, to walk in my will. Time is the treasure I have given, and you are its steward. How will you use it? Will you let it slip away in indifference, or will you transform it into an offering before me? Will you wait until the very end to live with purpose, or will you begin today? Stay awake, for no one knows their time. Be wise, for this life is like vapor, like the wildflowers that bloom quickly and then wither away. Know this, what you sow today will be what you reap tomorrow. If you sow love, you will reap joy. If you sow forgiveness, you will reap peace. If you sow obedience, you will reap abundant life. But if you sow indifference, you will reap emptiness. If you sow delay, you will reap regret. And if you sow hardness of heart, you will reap closed doors. My beloved child, today I call you to live differently. Lift up your head and see the opportunities I have placed before you. Take the seed in your hand and sow it, no matter how small. Step through the door even if you cannot see the road ahead. Speak words of encouragement even if you think they mean little. Obey the whisper of the Holy Spirit the moment He speaks, even if you do not yet understand fully. And when you do, you will witness miracles. You will see the harvest come overflowing and abundant. You will see your life transformed, not filled with regret, but overflowing with peace, joy, and meaning. My child, remember always I am with you. I know your weakness, I know your fear, but I also know you were created to live with purpose. I have planted great seeds within you, and I long to see them grow. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not let hesitation steal your blessing. Rise today and live with urgency, for time is precious and every moment you live is recorded by me. Do not let the day come when you sigh, if only. Let the day come when you can declare, "Thank you, Lord, that I lived fully for you." And when that day arrives, when you look back on the journey you have walked, there will be no regrets. For you will know you lived with purpose, sowed seeds in their season, walked in obedience, and used every moment as an opportunity to honor the giver of life. Then you will step into eternal glory with a smile and a heart full of peace, because you chose not to live in, if only, but in Amen, in full agreement with my will. My beloved child, I have never called you to live in fear of time as though you are always under pressure to accomplish everything at once. No, I do not want you to chase after time in weariness and stress. I simply call you to redeem the time through faithfulness, using it for the right purpose in the right way, and placing it in my hands so that I may cause it to bear fruit. Live each day with the awareness that it matters, because in truth it matters greatly. Do not let any day slip by without meaning, for in my eyes every moment of your life holds eternal value. Love each second as though it were holy, for it truly is part of the sacred plan I have prepared for you. Cherish every breath, for it is more than biological life. It is evidence that I continue to pour out grace so you may keep walking forward. My child, I am never distant from you. I am not one who only watches from afar, but I am near present in every moment of your life. When you open your eyes to the morning light, I am there waiting to begin the day with you. When you are weary and lay your head on the pillow at night, I am there covering you in my protecting arms. When you go out to work, I go with you. When you return, I am still there to welcome you. There is no place you can go where I am absent, and no moment when I am not present. My love is not dependent on circumstances or on the feelings you may or may not sense, but on an eternal truth: I am with you always. Beloved child, I see when you sigh in exhaustion. I hear the whispers of your loneliness. I notice the tears you shed in the dark where no one else can see. And in all of those moments, I have never left your side. I am with you when you collapse, and I am with you when you rise again. I am near in your victories, and I remain with you in your failures. You never walk alone, for I have promised I will never leave you, nor forsake you. Hebrews 1:3-5. Let this promise sink deep into your heart like an anchor holding your soul steady amid the storm. You must understand that it is my presence that makes each of your days precious. Without me, all efforts, all plans, and all dreams are like sand slipping through your fingers. But with me, even the smallest thing becomes eternal. A short prayer of faith can move heaven itself. A simple act of kindness done in my name can open the door of blessing for a lifetime. A single moment of listening and obeying my voice can alter the very course of your life. Therefore, never despise any moment, for it is in those seemingly small instants that I am at work. My dear one, I do not require you to live a flawless life without mistakes or failures. What I desire from you is faithfulness. When you fall, rise again. When you are weak, call upon me. When you lose your way, allow me to guide you home. I do not reject you for your wounds, nor abandon you for your mistakes. I am with you to heal, to lift you up, to restore you. My presence is the place where you will find true peace, where you will discover strength to go on, and where you will know that your life is never meaningless. You may ask, how can I live each day as though it matters? How can I cherish every moment as though it is sacred? My child, the answer lies in making me the center of your life. When you begin your day with prayer, you are offering that moment to me. When you live with gratitude, every minute becomes a holy sacrifice. When you work with all your heart, not to please people, but to honor me, your labor becomes worship. And when you choose to love, to forgive, and to sow hope, you are transforming fleeting moments into treasures of eternal value. Beloved child, I long for you to realize that you are never alone. I desire that you walk each day with the awareness that I am with you. Let your heart find rest in my presence. Let your days be no longer ordinary, but sacred, filled with love and grace. And as you live in this way, you will see that you are no longer running after time. Instead, you are walking within time, led by the Spirit, covered in my love, and shaped by my eternal purpose. My dear one, remember this. Well, I am with you in every moment. Whether you are surrounded by a crowd or alone in an empty room, I am there. Whether you feel strong or weak, I am there. Whether you sense my presence or not, I am still there. And if only you open your heart, you will realize that I am present, I am speaking, I am loving, and I am guiding your every step. Live each day as a gift, cherish every moment as a blessing, and breathe each breath as a testimony that I, your God, have never left you. Beloved child, right now opportunity is quietly passing before your eyes. It does not arrive with drums of celebration or loud announcements, but with gentleness as subtle as a whispering breeze. Yet if you fail to take hold of it, it will pass away like raindrops falling to the ground and disappearing. Do not let fear steal the opportunity I have set before you. Do not let doubt bind you in chains, keeping you still while the door is already open. Do not let the voices of others delay your steps, for often their words are only echoes of uncertainty, not my voice. And remember this, if you wait until everything becomes perfect, you will never begin. For perfection does not belong to this life. I do not require you to have everything figured out, complete, and ready. I only ask that you walk in faith. My child, the present moment is the priceless gift I have given you. You will never again have today. You will never again stand in this very moment within these circumstances holding this opportunity. Each chance is unique, woven by my providence. If you do not seize it, it will pass away and never return in exactly the same way. Perhaps I will grant you other opportunities, but this very moment, with all its details, shades, and grace, will never come back. Therefore, do not bury it in fear, do not hide it under doubt, do not smother it beneath excuses or delay. Take hold of it boldly, live it fully, use it to honor me and sow seeds for the harvest to come. My child, I know that many times you have told yourself, I will wait until I am stronger. I will wait until I have all the conditions. I will wait until everything is clear. But you do not realize that it is in weakness that my grace is made complete. It is in lack that my power is revealed. You think you must have everything prepared before you can move forward, but I tell you, only your obedience is required. Everything else I will provide. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. You do not need perfection in order to begin. You only need trust and to take the next step. Do not let any excuse stop you from entering the door that I have already opened. My child, remember those who came before you, who lived and walked by faith. Abraham left his homeland without knowing where he was going, simply because he trusted me. Noah built the ark when rain had never fallen, simply because he heard my voice. David faced the giant Goliath with only a small stone in his hand, simply because he placed his trust in me. They did not wait until circumstances were perfect. They did not wait until their eyes had all the proof they longed for. They simply believed and walked forward, and it was that obedience in the moment that opened a new history. So it is with you, my child, do not delay. The moment you have now is the very opportunity I have placed in your hands that you may write your story in trusting me. Remember also, my child, that the opportunity given to you is not for yourself alone. It may be the seed planted in another's life. It may be the word of comfort that rescues a soul from despair. It may be the act of love that transforms an entire lineage. When you bury the opportunity, you not only impoverish your own soul, but you also rob others of the blessing I long to give through you. Do not despise what you can do today, for that very thing may become the miracle in someone's life. So then be careful how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Ephesians 5:1-5-16. My child, wisdom is found in recognizing that today itself is the opportunity and in seizing it with both hands. Wisdom is knowing that delay may turn into an irreplaceable loss. Wisdom is refusing to let the voices of the world drown out the whisper of the Spirit. Wisdom is choosing to act even when your heart trembles, because you know I am with you. And when you do so, peace will flood your soul, for you have obeyed my word. I do not want you, my child, to live in regret over the chances you missed. I want you to live in the joy of obedience. I want you to look back one day and say, I did not bury my opportunity. I did not hide my seed. I did not allow fear to steal what he had given me. Then you will see the harvest of blessing, the abundance of joy, and the fullness of life. Remember, I am with you in every step. When you tremble, I uphold you. When you doubt, I strengthen your faith. When you are weak, I add to your strength. And when you dare to step forward, you will see that I have gone before you, preparing the way and arranging all things. Therefore, my beloved child, seize the opportunity now. Do not wait any longer. Do not let another day slip away in hesitation. Do not bury this moment in fear. Rise up, walk forward in faith, and live fully in the opportunity I have placed in your hands. And you will see no act of obedience is ever wasted, no seed is ever forgotten, and no opportunity is ever small when placed in my hands. For each one becomes part of my great plan, a plan to bring hope, a future, and eternal life for you and for many others. My beloved child, from the beginning to the very end, the most important call I give you remains the call to obedience. For obedience is the key that opens the way into abundant life, the path that draws you closer to me, and the proof that you trust in me. Obedience is not the loss of freedom as you often think, but rather the discovery of true freedom, the kind of freedom that can only be found when you walk in my perfect will. There are times when you believe that obedience means losing yourself. Yet in truth, it is in choosing obedience that you rediscover your true identity, the very one I placed within you. Obedience is not a burden, but the path that leads to joy. Obedience is not bondage, but the key that unlocks deliverance. For only when you surrender the illusion of control will you see that my perfect and loving sovereignty covers your life. My child, I know the struggles in your heart. There are times when you hear my voice but question yourself. Was it really the Lord speaking? Is this truly the time to take the step? I see you're wrestling on one side, the longing to follow me. On the other, the fear of leaving behind what feels safe and familiar. But know this, in those very moments, obedience determines the course of your entire life. If you obey, you will witness me accomplishing wonders beyond imagination. But if you delay, you will be left with only the regret that you did not trust me enough. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. Jeremiah 2:9-11. Do you see, my child? My plans hold no destruction, only peace and hope. Why then do you still fear obeying me? Obedience, beloved, is not only found in great decisions, but also in the smallest details of daily life. When you choose kind words instead of bitterness, you have obeyed. When you choose forgiveness instead of resentment, you have obeyed. When you choose prayer instead of drowning in anxiety, you have obeyed. You often think I only notice the great acts, but truly I look to your faithful heart in the smallest of things. Do not despise obedience in small steps, for it is through those small steps that you learn to place great trust in me. When you obey in the little, your heart is trained to obey in the great. If you cannot be faithful with a seed, how will you remain faithful when the harvest comes? That is why I always begin teaching you through simple matters, so that when greater doors open, you may walk in with confidence and steadfast faith. My child, obedience will not always be easy. At times I will call you to walk where your eyes cannot see clearly. Sometimes I will lead you into the wilderness where nothing but silence surrounds you, so that you may learn to trust in my presence rather than in circumstances. Sometimes I will lead you into the storm so that you may know that as long as I am in the boat, you will not sink. You may not understand why I allow trials to come, but know this all is meant to teach you the lesson of obedience. As Abraham obeyed when I told him to leave his homeland for a place he had never known. As Noah built the ark, though, rain had never fallen simply because he believed my word. As Peter stepped out of the boat to walk upon the water, only because he heard my voice say, "Come." These men did not wait for perfect conditions, nor did they need to understand every detail. They simply heard my voice and obeyed. And through their obedience, a new chapter of history was written. My child, obedience does not only bring blessings to you personally, but it also influences those around you, even an entire generation. When you obey, blessings overflow to your family, your friends, and even to those who have never met you. Obedience never stops at the individual. It always carries a ripple effect. My child, I know that at times you fear obedience might cause you to lose something precious. But remember this, I never take away anything good without giving you something better. When you let go, I will place into your hands what is far greater. When you obey, you will see that I am the one who provides in abundance. You may think you are losing, but in truth you will gain much more. You must understand that obedience is the shortest path to blessing. Often you try to find detours searching for an easier way, but instead you find yourself wandering into a maze of weariness and regret. If you had chosen obedience from the very beginning, you would have spared yourself many tears and unnecessary trials. Remember, obedience is not only the wise choice, it is the choice that leads to peace. My child, I say to you once more, choose obedience as soon as you hear my voice. Do not hesitate, do not make excuses, do not delay. Every moment of hesitation is a lost opportunity. Each time you refuse, your heart grows harder. But when you obey, you will see my Spirit guiding you, upholding you, and opening the way before you. My child, I want you to remember this. Obedience is not always easy to understand, but it is always right. It may set you apart, it may cause others not to understand you, but it will always lead you safely into my will. Obedience is not bondage, it is true freedom. For when you walk with me, you step out of the grip of sin, the chains of fear, and the limits of your own self. Therefore, my beloved child, let obedience become the very breath of your life. Live as Abraham, as Noah, as David, men who did not need to understand everything, yet chose to trust and walk forward. Let your obedience today become the foundation of tomorrow's blessings. And as you obey, you will see my hand always with you, leading you on a journey filled with peace, joy, and abundant life. My precious child, now that you have learned about obedience, I want you to grasp another truth of equal importance: walking in faith. Obedience and faith are like the two wings of a bird. Without one, you cannot soar high, nor can you travel far on the path I have prepared. Obedience sets your feet in motion toward my calling, but faith enables you to walk steadfastly upon that path even when your eyes cannot yet see the outcome. My child, faith is not a fleeting emotion, nor a vague thought meant to comfort yourself. Faith is the assurance of what you hope for, the conviction of what you do not yet see. Hebrews 1:1. It is the lifeline that binds you to me, the Eternal One, the Almighty, who reigns over every circumstance. When you walk in faith, you are holding my hand, allowing me to lead you, even through places your mind cannot comprehend. My child, I know that at times you feel you are not strong enough to believe. Your eyes only see difficulties, your ears only hear words of criticism, and your heart only feels insecurity. You think that faith must be built upon joyful emotions or certainty in circumstances. But my child, true faith does not rest on feelings. It rests on my unchanging promises. True faith is not anchored in what the eyes can see, but in me, the one who never changes, the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. There will be times when the path before you seems shrouded in darkness. You do not know what the next step will look like, and fear begins to overwhelm you. Yet it is in that very moment that faith becomes truly necessary. Faith is not meant for the times when everything is clear, but to keep you steady when all remains uncertain. Faith is like a lamp that lights your steps, not to illuminate the entire road ahead, but just enough so you may walk safely one step at a time in the present. Remember Abraham, the father of faith. When I called him to leave his homeland and go to a place he did not know, he had no map, no clear plan, but he trusted me and he walked forward. That faith opened the way for a nation as numerous as the stars of the sky and the sand on the seashore. If Abraham had waited to see everything in advance, he would never have taken a single step, but because he believed, he became the father of many nations. In the same way, Noah trusted me when I commanded him to build an ark in a land that had never seen great rain. People mocked him and called him foolish, yet he believed my word and obeyed. That very faith saved his family from the flood. My child, do you see? Faith does not require the agreement of the crowd. It only requires one steadfast heart placed in me. Walking by faith does not mean you will avoid trials, but it will change the way you walk through them. When you have faith, storms will not destroy you. Instead, they become places where you learn of my power. Faith does not remove the darkness, but it assures you that the dawn will surely come. Faith does not take away sorrow, but it gives you hope that I can turn tears into joy and ashes into glory. There are times I intentionally withhold the full picture from you because I want you to learn to trust me more than yourself. If you could see everything, you would no longer need faith. But I desire for you to grow to lean on me. Therefore, I allow you to walk in the dark, not so that you may stumble, but so that you may hold my hand more tightly. My child, I know there are many times you pray and ask me to take away the trial, yet instead I give you the strength to endure it. You think I am silent, but in truth I am teaching you to trust me even in the silence. You think I am slow, but in reality I am preparing to reveal something far greater. Never forget, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:9. True faith is not formed when everything is easy, but when you are weak and have nothing left but trust in me. My child, remember that faith is never in vain. Every prayer spoken in faith is heard by me. Every step taken in faith is recorded by me. Every act of faith carries eternal value. You may not see the results right away, but take heart, for I, the faithful one, will never let your faith be wasted. Faith is like a seed. When you plant it today, you do not see the tree grow immediately. Yet over time it will sprout, take root, and bear fruit. What you must do is water it faithfully with prayer, nurture it with perseverance, and believe that the harvest will come at its appointed time. Do not uproot the seed just because you cannot yet see results. Let your faith be planted deep in the soil, and one day you will see a bountiful field. My child, to walk in faith is to walk in close fellowship with me. Faith is not a theory, but a living relationship. The more you know me, the more you trust me. The more you hear my voice, the stronger your faith will become. For faith comes by hearing, and hearing through the Word of God. Romans 1:0-1-7-3, the LibriVox.org. Do not let your mind be filled with the noise of the world, but let my word take root. For it is my word that will nourish your faith, sustain you in times of trouble, and strengthen you when you waver. Faith, my beloved, is not only to help you endure trials, but also to open your eyes to the great works I am doing. Faith turns the impossible into possible. Faith transforms weakness into strength. Faith turns the ordinary into greatness. Not because faith itself has power, but because the object of faith, me, the Almighty, is all-powerful. When you place your faith in the right place, nothing is impossible. Therefore, my dear child, stand firm in faith. When the storm rises, believe that I am the one who calms the wind and the waves. When darkness surrounds you, believe that I am the light that never fades. When you are weak, believe that my strength is made perfect in you. When you cannot see the way, believe that I am the one who leads you. Do not let doubt, fear, or the voices of the world steal the faith within you. Hold fast, cling tightly, and walk forward, for I am with you. And you will see that every step taken in faith will lead you into a life full of miracles, full of blessings, and full of abundant life. My beloved child, I want you to understand an unchanging spiritual principle. Your life is a field, and everything you do, every word you speak, even every thought you nurture, is a seed sown into it. Not a single seed disappears, all will grow, and one day you will reap a harvest, good or bad, plentiful or empty, depending on what you have sown. This is the law of justice I established from the beginning of creation, and no one can change it. My child, do not think that your actions today are meaningless. Do not think that a kind word bears no fruit. Do not think that a silent prayer vanishes into nothingness. Everything you do in love, in faith, and in faithfulness is a precious seed sown into the eternal field. I see it, I remember it, and I promise it will bear fruit in its season. Do not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. My child, the tiny seed you sow can grow into a great tree, one so wondrous that even you will marvel at it. A word of encouragement spoken today can become the flame that rekindles hope in another's heart. A small act of love can rescue a soul from the depths of despair. A faithful prayer, though whispered in secret, can alter the course of an entire family, yes, even of a nation. You may see yourself as small, but I tell you truly, nothing you do in my name is ever small. Yet, my child, I also want you to understand that a seed does not sprout overnight. Often you sow without seeing immediate results. Doubt begins to whisper, "Has God not heard? Has my seed already perished?" My child, be patient. A seed needs time to break forth, needs soil to take, root needs water and sunlight to grow. In the same way, the good works you do, the prayers you lift, the tears you sow, all require time before they bear fruit. The harvest does not come too early nor too late, but in the season appointed. Remember the farmer. He does not sow today expecting to reap tomorrow. He knows there is a span of time between planting and harvest, and in that waiting lies the test of faithfulness. So it must be with you. Be steadfast in the season of waiting. Do not dig up the seed because you cannot yet see the sprout. Do not give up because the fruit has not appeared. For if you endure with patience, you will behold the fields clothed with grain in the day I have ordained. My child, be alert, for there are seeds that spring from anger, bitterness, and selfishness. These too will grow, yielding a harvest no one desires. If you sow hatred, you will reap division. If you sow deceit, you will reap confusion. If you sow indifference, you will reap emptiness. This law is sure and just, for I am the righteous God. Yet do not be afraid, for my grace is sufficient to transform your field. If you are willing to repent, I will uproot the bad seed and place within your hands new seed to sow. My child, I long for you to be a faithful sower. Do not shrink back when you see your seed is small, for I am the one who makes it grow. Do not compare your seed with another's, for I have not called all to sow the same kind, but each to sow what I have entrusted to them. Every person has their own field, and each will reap according to the seed they have sown. Your task is not to worry about the size of the seed, but to sow it faithfully. And remember, this seed must fall into good soil if it is to bear fruit. Good soil is a heart that is soft, humble, ready to receive my word and obey it. If your heart is barren and dry, the seed will wither. If your heart is filled with stones, the roots will not grow deep. If your heart is choked with the thorns of worry, the seed will be suffocated. But if you keep your heart pure, trusting, and obedient, the seed will yield a harvest 30-fold, 60-fold, even 100-fold. My child, I do not call you to think only of a harvest for yourself. I want you to sow seeds so that many others may also share in the blessing. When you sow forgiveness, not only are you set free, but others are also released. When you sow love, not only do you rejoice, but the community around you is transformed. When you sow righteousness, you are not only building your personal life, but also shaping an entire generation. Remember that you are a steward not just for yourself, but also for those whom I have placed beside you. My child, the harvest is also the time when I reveal my justice. On that day, every hidden thing will be brought to light. Every seed sown in secret will spring forth. Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Those who are faithful in little will be entrusted with more. Those who sow wickedness will face its consequences. This is the justice I have ordained. But my child, if you walk in me, you need not fear, for your harvest will be full of good fruit. Picture the day you stand before me, gazing upon the field of your life. There you will see mighty trees that have grown from acts of kindness that once seemed insignificant. You will see fruit that has come forth from whispered prayers no one else knew. You will see golden stalks heavy with grain from every moment you forgave, from every time you chose to trust me instead of your own eyes. And on that day you will rejoice, knowing that not a single tear, not a single sacrifice, not a single deed done in my name was wasted. Therefore, my beloved child, become a faithful sower. Sow in faith, sow in love, sow in hope. Do not grow weary, do not lose heart, do not let delay make you give up. Remember that the harvest always comes, and when it comes, it will be more abundant than you imagined. You will stand in a field of blessing, and you will know that every word I have spoken is true. My beloved, there is a sacred work I am doing in your life, and this work does not begin outwardly, but from the depths within. For what is inside will determine what flows outside. If your heart is filled with light, that light will shine everywhere. But if your heart is filled with darkness, that darkness will overshadow all you do. That is why true transformation is not merely a change of circumstance, but a renewal from the very root within the person. You often ask me to change your situation, your job, your relationships, your finances, your health. But my child, sometimes I do not change the outward circumstance immediately, because first I desire to transform your heart. I want you to see the difference between an outward fix and an inward healing. If only the outside changes without the inside being renewed, then soon the old patterns will return and you will find yourself trapped in the same cycle again. But if your heart is transformed, you will stand firm even when storms arise, for your roots will be deep in me. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is the good, pleasing, and perfect will of God. Romans 1:2-2. You see, transformation begins when your mind is renewed, when you no longer think according to the ways of this world, but learn to see everything through my perspective. My child, inner transformation begins when you allow me to touch the hidden corners of your heart, the places you have kept concealed. There are wounds you thought were long forgotten, yet they remain shaping your actions and words. There are fears you believed you had overcome, but in truth they still bind you in silence. I long for you to open your heart that my light may shine into those dark places. Only when the light comes can the darkness be driven away. My child, transformation is not an easy process. It is like being refined, like being tested in the fire. I know there will be moments of pain when I cut away old habits, when I expose distorted motives. Yet trust that I never prune you to harm you, but to make you whole. I do not place you in the fire to destroy you, but to purify you. Just as gold must pass through fire to be made pure, so must your soul pass through trials to shine brightly. Remember Joseph. Before becoming governor, he endured betrayal, imprisonment, and years of being forgotten. Yet it was in that very process that his inner life was transformed. From a proud young man boasting of dreams, he became humble, wise, and fully trusting in me. It was this transformation within that prepared him for the position without. Had Joseph not been refined, he would not have been humble enough to forgive his brothers, nor wise enough to lead a nation through famine. My child, I long to transform you in the same way. I want to teach you patience in waiting, humility when misunderstood, and trust when no answer is in sight. Every circumstance you walk through is not random, but a lesson designed to refine your soul. If you see circumstances through the eyes of the world, they will appear as burdens. But if you see them through the eyes of faith, you will recognize them as the furnace of transformation. My child, inner transformation also means letting me renew your way of thinking. Your mind is often bound by fear, worry, jealousy, and insecurity. These are like invisible chains that hold you captive, but I want you to replace them with the truth of my word. As you listen to my word, meditate on it, and live by it, your mind will be renewed day by day. Instead of fear, you will know peace. Instead of insecurity, you will know you are wonderfully made. Instead of jealousy, you will rejoice when others are blessed. And instead of worry, you will entrust all things to me. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. You see, when you allow me to renew your inner being, you no longer live by your own wisdom, but learn to trust in me. My child, inner transformation is also revealed in learning to love as I love. I do not only want you to lay aside bitterness, but to replace it with forgiveness. I do not only want you to abandon selfishness, but to learn to share. I do not only want you to release your closed heart, but to open it in welcome. For true transformation is not merely not doing evil, but becoming a source from which goodness flows. Let me transform your heart to become like mine, a heart that knows how to weep with those in sorrow, rejoice with those who are blessed, endure patiently with the weak, and forgive those who cause harm. A heart no longer closed off in the prison of self, but opened wide to love. This is the transformation I long to bring about in you. My child, inner transformation does not happen in a single day. It is a lifelong journey. Each day you allow me to touch you, you are renewed a little more. Each time you yield, you are refined further. You need not worry that you are not yet perfect, for I am the one who both begins and completes the work within you. All I ask is your willingness to be changed. And one day when you look back, you will marvel at how much you have changed. The things that once stirred your anger will no longer hold power. The fears that once haunted you will fade away. The wounds that once cut deeply will become testimonies. You will see that you have grown more patient, stronger, more loving, and all of this, because I have transformed your inner being. Therefore, my beloved, do not only ask me to change your circumstances, Ask me to transform your heart. Do not merely hope that I will open new doors. Hope that I will renew your mind to walk through them. Do not only ask me to remove hardships, ask that I use those hardships to refine you into pure gold. And when you let me reshape your inner life, you will discover that you are no longer the same person but a new creation living in true light and freedom. My dear child, I want your heart to hold fast to an unchanging truth. This life is but a fleeting journey, and you were not created to remain here forever. This earth is only an inn, a temporary road, while your true home is the eternal dwelling I have prepared for you. If you cling only to what is passing, you will lose sight of the greater vision I have set before you. Too often you are consumed with daily worries as though they were everything. You pour your strength, your tears, even your youth into things that quickly fade. But my child, remember that all which is seen will pass away. Wealth, status, reputation, even your very body is but dust. None of these can cross with you into eternity. The only thing that will remain is your soul and the deeds you have done in me. But our citizenship is in heaven, and we eagerly await a Savior from there, the Lord Jesus Christ. Philippians 3:20. Do you see, your true identity is not of this earth but of heaven? You may live here on earth, but your heart must be set on above. You may labor in this world, but your purpose must rest in eternity. My child, to set your eyes on your eternal homeland does not mean neglecting this present life. No, I want you to live each day here fully, but with a heart that knows it is all preparation. Like a traveler who knows he will not remain forever in the inn, and so does not invest everything in the temporary lodging, but prepares for the lasting home. So it is with you. This life is the school of learning, the path of training, the season of sowing to prepare for the harvest of eternity. My child, remember Abraham. Though he was promised the land, the scriptures say that he still lived as a stranger, for he was looking forward to the city with foundations whose architect and builder is God. Hebrews 1:1-10. He knew that the promised land was but a shadow of the eternal homeland I was preparing. That is why he could dwell in tents, never clinging to fleeting comforts. My beloved child, I know there are times when you are swept up in the pressures of this life. You worry about food and clothing, about money, relationships, and the future. These concerns are not wrong, but do not let them consume your vision. Do not let them make you forget that you have an everlasting home. If you fix your eyes only on the earth, you will grow weary. But if you lift your gaze to heaven, you will find a hope that cannot be shaken. My child, I want you to live with the awareness that each day here is an opportunity to store up treasures in heaven. Those treasures are not gold or silver, but the love you sow, the obedience you show, and the faithfulness you keep. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moths and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal, but store up for yourselves treasures in heaven. Matthew 6:1-9-22. Pour your strength into what endures forever, not into what fades away. My dear one, I want you to understand that looking toward your eternal homeland does not mean losing the joy of this earthly life. On the contrary, it is precisely when you know that this life is temporary that you can enjoy it fully. You will not cling to it in fear, but embrace each moment with gratitude. You will see every day as a gift, but not the whole of it. You will recognize that every good thing here is but a foretaste of the great banquet I have prepared. And so you can both rejoice and wait with great hope. My child, I see the moments when you despair over loss. You weep when a door closes, when a loved one departs, when a dream shatters. But remember, this life is not the final chapter. Death is not the end, but the doorway that leads you into your eternal home. If you believe in me, you will be reunited with those who have fallen asleep in me. If you believe in me, you will know that pain is temporary, but joy is everlasting. My child, let the hope of your eternal homeland be the strength that carries you through. When you are pressed down, remember that our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. 2 Corinthians 4:17. When you are rejected, remember that you have a dwelling in me that no one can take away. When you suffer loss, remember that I hold a reward that can never be destroyed. Live then as a citizen of heaven who is only passing through this world. Love, serve, and sow seeds, but do not cling. Step forward boldly, but never forget your destination. Work diligently, but also rest in the hope of eternity. Live as if today were your last, yet also as if today were but the beginning of forever. And my child, when that day comes, when you cross the threshold of death, you will no longer be afraid, for you will know you are simply coming home. I will be there with arms open wide to welcome you, to wipe away every tear, and to bring you into a place where there is no more pain, no more mourning, and no more parting. You will hear my voice say, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with little. I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your Lord." And in that moment you will understand that every hardship, every trial, every sacrifice of this life was worth it. Therefore, my beloved child, lift up your eyes. Do not fix them only on what is fleeting, but turn them toward what is eternal. Do not live merely for today, but live in preparation for the day of eternity. And when you live this way, every day of your life on this earth will be filled with meaning, and your heart will always shine with the undying hope, the hope of an eternal homeland where I await to rejoice with you forever. Now lift up to me this sincere prayer. Beloved Father in heaven, today I come before you with a heavy heart. I have seen something that I thought would bring peace and the answers I longed for, but it slipped away from my hands like water flowing through my fingers. I tried to hold on, but my hands were too weak, and I could only watch helplessly as it drifted away. My heart fell into a pit of questions, of confusion, and of whispers telling me that I have missed my destiny. Yet in this very moment, I lay down all those voices at your feet. Please come and comfort me, soothe my soul, and remind me that nothing I have lost is beyond your power to restore. Nothing I have missed is beyond your power to return, and no destiny can ever be destroyed when you yourself are the, quote, author. Grant me rest in the embrace of your mercy, and open my eyes to see the restoration you have already woven for me before any of this came to pass. Lord, I confess that so many times I have looked at life only through what my eyes could see. I saw failure, I saw loss, I saw doors closing. But today, teach me to see through your vision. Open my eyes to recognize that you are making a new way, preparing something far greater than I could have ever anticipated. Teach me to discern between the temporary gift and the giver himself. Shape my heart so it will not cling to what is fleeting, but will instead seek what is eternal. Let me learn that the true worth of my life is not in what I hold in my hands, but in holding firmly onto you. Father, I once prayed that you would give me strength, wisdom, and steadfastness. And today I realize that these prayers are answered not by placing more riches or blessings in my hands, but by you refining my heart. Give me patience enough not to resist this process. Give me courage enough to walk through the days filled with tears, trusting that the joy you are preparing for me will not be shallow nor fragile, but lasting and eternal. Teach me to trust your hand, the hand that turns crushing into fragrance, pressing into flowing oil, and the darkest night into a radiant dawn. O Lord, I have once been bound in the chains of regret. Time and again I looked back to the past and whispered, if only. But today I ask you to break every chain that holds me. Let me step out of the shadows of regret and walk into the light of urgency. Grant me not only the wisdom to look back with understanding, but also the courage to look forward with discernment. Teach me to use the time you have given with care and wisdom, so that every word I speak, every thought I nurture, and every action I take may become seeds for a harvest of blessing. Help me redeem the time, live faithfully in each moment, and never waste a single breath you entrust to me. Beloved Father, when I feel my worth begin to waver, remind me that I was created in your image, called by my very own name, loved even before I knew how to love, and chosen long before I knew how to choose. Engrave upon my heart the truth that my value is not measured by what I hold in my hands or the successes I achieve, but by you, the one who holds me in your mighty hand. May I never forget that I am inscribed upon the palms of your hands, and that you will never let me go. Lord, grant me wisdom to cherish every moment, never to take lightly opportunities that may seem small, nor to delay when you call. Teach me to act when you say go, to speak when you say speak, to step forward when you say do, Help me not to despise humble beginnings, but to trust that in your eyes even what is small can become a field of great harvest. Remind me that delay is not harmless, but can rob me of eternal blessings. Keep me awake, redeeming the time and living in faithfulness. And Father, let my heart always long for the eternal homeland. Let me remember that this life is but a journey, a preparation for the day I enter into everlasting joy with you. Help me to use every breath to sow love, forgiveness, faith, and hope. Let me not live as one afraid of missing out, but as one who seizes every opportunity you give. One day when I stand before you, may I hear the words, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have lived fully in the time I entrusted to you. You have obeyed and remained faithful. Enter into the joy of your Lord." From this day forward, may my life be wholly consecrated to you in gratitude, in hope, and in a love that never fades. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.